Google is out with its latest updates and its second release of its Pixel Watch, but is it better than the original? Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley to give us his insights. Dan, I was going to say the sequel is rarely better than the original.
Ooh.
Is that the case in this?
Well, when it comes to tech, usually the sequel's the better one. I will also say that Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back is a better sequel, but I'll just leave that at that. As far as the Pixel Watch goes, though, I have it here. This is the Pixel Watch 2. It's as you said, second generation of Google's smartwatch. It carries over many of the same features, but addresses some of the shortcomings of the original. So the sequel here is actually better. One of the shortcomings that the original watch had was performance wasn't exactly great, but with this newer version, which starts at $349, you can see that the actual interface is very sleek, very quick. There aren't any kinds of slowdown at all when you're going through your apps. It's just nice and simple, very smooth. I particularly like it for its design. Obviously, I also have an Apple Watch here, and you can see that the Apple Watch is square. Well, this guy goes with a little rounded, domed design. This is something that is somewhat unique to Google. There are other smartwatches that are round, but this has got that rounded dome design. I think it's got a better overall look for the kind of aesthetic you might be going for if you have a smartwatch, or you just want to stand out and don't want to have a rectangle on your wrist like everyone else on the face of the earth. There are some big changes outside of just that processor, which improves performance. There's also a new heart rate sensor underneath, and it does do a lot of good. It actually allows it to capture more information than the prior version. There's usually 4 lights or 5 lights right there. It's a multi-path kind of device, and so it'll more accurately track your heart rate. And because Google purchased Fitbit, Fitbit is a big part of this as well. So you would go into the Fitbit app and be able to get all of your information, whether that's how many steps you walked, how often you worked out this week. If you sign up for Fitbit Premium, you also get 6 months of that for free. You'll get what's called a readiness score. Basically, what that does is it takes into account your sleep, your exercise, and how much you generally were active, and let you know, hey, you can go out and work out today, or maybe take it easy, hang out on the couch, have a few beers. It probably won't tell you to have beers, but that's the advice that I take from it. The other big changes that you'll notice is that this also has a temperature sensor. So it'll be able to track temperature during sleep, provide you information related to that. And then it also provides you with just general overall exercises. So again, if you sign up for Fitbit Premium, you get some good exercise programs in there. Essentially what this is doing is replicating the experience of a Fitbit, but with Google hardware. And when it comes to Apple, they have a similar experience on the Apple Watch. Although this guy starts at $349, the Apple Watch starts at $399. I think if you're looking for an Android smartwatch and you don't necessarily want to go with the Samsung, this is honestly my favorite Android smartwatch on the market. I love the design. I think it's well built, and the battery life will get you through the whole day. It's not going to get you multiple days, though. That's something that smartwatch makers still need to get around to.
Dan, I have to say, I was one of those that initially resisted having a square on my wrist. I have warmed up to it over the years, but I mean, you've got dueling wrists right now, right? I mean, at the end of the day, is it worth getting out of the ecosystem? If you're already in iOS, do you switch over? Is it good enough to switch over?
I switch over all the time for work. I have to switch over from Android to iOS and iOS to Android. I just made the switch yesterday back to iOS, only because I own a Apple Watch. I think for the general user, a smartwatch isn't going to be the thing that gets you to change. It's going to be the thing that gets you to stick, which is why I went back to iOS, because this is my own Apple Watch Series 8. So I think that if you're looking to change, or you're interested in changing, do the smartphone route first and then go for the smartphones. Smartphone route and then go for the smartwatch. Google just announced their new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro smartphones. They're very, very impressive devices, tons of AI built into them. Whether or not it's going to be a game changer down the line as far as the AI goes, that kind of remains to be seen. The photo features are very interesting. They have great cameras on them. So I think that's where you're going to start if you're trying to change from ecosystem to ecosystem. And then you would want to go out and get the watch. But if you are on Android, honestly, this is my favorite watch to go for. I just love the design. And look, the heart rate sensor is so accurate that, I was riding my little stationary bike and it kept tracking, up and down as my heart rate went going through exercises. Exercise bikes are terrible, by the way.
We need to add that to the video, Dan. You with the watch on your exercise bike. Okay, that's for the next review. Dan Howley, as always, with those reviews. Thanks so much for that.